The year 2020 is getting worse as the cases for COVID-19 reported worldwide has been steadily increased throughout the year. The pandemic crippled the economy of the country affected, thus create a lot of concerns.
Uncomfortably high. I'd say they're better than even odds at this point that this is going to push us into recession.
Well, as coronavirus spreads to more countries, it's threatening the health of the global economy.
Still, there are other several industries and businesses booming in the midst of the pandemic. But we will focus on the demand and supply of the latex industry, especially top glove.
The world's largest maker of rubber gloves is reporting
Because there is some shortage, top glove been a big supplier.
Top gloves see supply shortage, boosting latex gloves prices. The world's largest rubber gloves manufacturer said on Wednesday that the cost of protective medical gloves could go up because of a manufacturer shortage after a massive coronavirus outbreak closure half of its factory. Malaysia itself produced less than two-thirds of the world's medical rubber gloves, increased their global demand during the pandemic, and had record profit manufacturers such as Top Gloves Corp. Due to the pandemic, more than 2,000 Top Gloves customers in Malaysia delayed their shipment for at least 2 weeks. Indeed, Top Gloves are one of the leading suppliers in the world. It has about 16,000 factory workers and operates 47 plants in Malaysia, Thailand, China, and Vietnam, producing 36 gloves. Top Gloves supply more than a Q1 of the world's latest gloves, or 19 billion rubber gloves annually. Its stock fell 7.5% on Tuesday and 3% on Wednesday. So far this year, it has quadrupled. Thus, the supply will definitely be affected in some way, and price of gloves can go up. The question now, when demand increases, what happens to supply? First thing we need to know is that when we face a positive demand, the demand curve shifts to the right. This means that customers demand more product for a given price point. This change in demand triggers a movement along the supply curve. The result is a higher price and more production. The logic behind why we move along the supply curve is that the highest price consumers are willing to pay makes manufacturers who were previously unwilling to supply goods to start production. However, the Malaysian Rubber Gloves Association said that the closure of the Top Gloves will not affect the supply of gloves. Managing Director Lin King were asked on an online conference about the demand of gloves after the vaccine.
There's talk now that we could see a vaccine by 2021. How might that impact demand for gloves? And what kind of decline are you anticipating or not?
He responded that with the COVID-19 vaccine on arrival, the demand for rubber gloves will continue because they will take time to become more available, and people who manage the shot will need safety equipment. Even with a single vaccine, we don't see any slowdown. We expect more gloves used than ever before the COVID era to raise health and hygiene awareness. The company predicts as well that the demand of gloves will exceed supply in the next 3 years.
Though based on the online news, Thailand have the potential to be the world's #1 natural rubber glove producer, since the country able to produce about 4.8 million metric tons of natural rubber annually, which are far ahead of our country. But the demand and supply of natural rubber in Malaysia are still increased and unaffected. There are few reasons that has caused this situation to be happen. The first reason is the increase of demand for manufacturing protective gear like medical gloves. The increase of this demand has led to the Southeast Asian nation to turn into a hotspot for manufacturing protective gear which also have led to our country, Malaysia, even becoming billionaires due to it. The second reason is due to the increase of demand for non-medical purposes, especially for food and beverage purposes. The lucrative of this industry can be seen when companies like Luster Industry Berhad, whose primary activity is in manufacturing and selling precision plastic parts, as well as property developer Mah Sing Group, have diversified into rubber glove making. The third reason is due to the development of the COVID-19 virus vaccines. It is because even though the vaccines are already available to be given to the society, but it still takes time for them to become widely available since it is a new developed vaccines. Besides, the people who are administering the shot still need to use protective gear. Thus, it will not hurt glove demand though the vaccine are being introduced. The last reason is due to the rising demand from Europe and Asia despite the dispute faced by top glove company with US Customs and Border Protection, which have banned imports from two its subsidiaries over forced labor concern. The company said the ban has hurt sales to the US, but it has been offset by the rising demand in Europe and Asia.
Despite which the problem arise, the COVID-19 pandemic has pushed glove to the forefront. There are action has been taken by the government and manufacturing company to improve the economy and also to save the environment. On the earlier of the pandemic, price level of latex drops as the oil price. Therefore, on September 2020, national government committed to stabilizing rubber's price, which affected international demand market, especially China. Deputy Minister of Plantation Industries and Commodities II, Datuk Sri Dr. Vijay Singh, said the government has worked with the world's major rubber producing countries, which are Thailand and Indonesia. This cooperation is under International Tripartite Rubber Council (ITRC) to strengthen and stabilize international rubber market price. This is great, right? It will help the rubber tappers to increase their income during the pandemic. Other than that, glove production has been increased since pandemic started. This can be seen as measures. Natural rubber consumption increased by 1.9% for glove compared to other consumption in September 2019. Since the latex gloves are widely used in medical, also the public use for an extra precautions, we should encourage people to use biodegradable gloves. The gloves are committed to continuously combat climate change. Therefore, they have developed green products like BioGreen biodegradable nitrile glove. This type of glove not cause any allergic reaction as do natural latex glove. Moreover, the biodegradable glove typically will compose within 24 months, but depends on landfill conditions. The BioGreen product by Third Glove follows to ASTM D6319 and EN 455 standards. These standards fulfill certain requirements for neutral rubber glove used in medical applications for safety. They also manufactured under quality system regulations and tested under ASTM D5511 methods. This BioGreen glove got awarded by international quality systems such as SIRIM.
ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا.
The wealth that Allah has distributed to humankind need to use wisely, as it is a responsibility for the Ummah. Also, trade have been part of human social activities since the Prophet time, and it's stated in Quran and history. Also, suppliers need to accommodate the needs of the people. However, unlimited ones lead to shortage in the production. When production cannot fulfill the wants of the society, many unlawful deals can happen as mentioned in Quran, such as riba or usury. Some useful individuals can take advantages of these situations by monopolizing the product. As responsible Muslims, we need to be responsible of our action and be patient and wiseful in any situation and not just be greedy to fulfill our own satisfaction.